I have no life. My legs can't even hold my weight anymore. I can't get up. I can't walk. I'm trapped. My weight has condemned me to this bed.
Marla is a prisoner in her own bed, a mountain of flesh so immense that her legs have completely given out. Her life has been reduced to a humiliating cycle of dependency, where her own children are forced to perform the most intimate acts of care, including bathing her as she lies helpless. She is trapped, miserable, and drowning in a sea of self-loathing, convinced she has become a nasty, yucky monster.
I tried to break up with my boyfriend at the time. He lost it and he took me hostage. He held me at gunpoint and I thought I was gonna die when the police tried to rescue me.
The source of this catastrophic decline is a story ripped straight from a horror film. In her early 20s, a violent ex-boyfriend took her hostage at gunpoint, threatening her life. After he shot 2 police officers and escaped, Marla became a prisoner of fear, too terrified to leave her own home. Food became her only comfort in a world that felt menacing and cruel. The pounds piled on as a physical shield against the emotional trauma, a desperate attempt to eat away the terror.
You made it, baby. What you get me? I love food. I'm a junk food junkie.
When we go shopping for her.
Her daughter Adele confesses the grim reality. They must bring her mother exactly what she craves: fried chicken, junk food, or face her wrath. It's a classic case of enabling born from a mixture of love, fear, and utter exhaustion. They are feeding the very addiction that is killing her, caught in a vicious cycle where providing comfort is indistinguishable from facilitating a slow suicide. This isn't a family, it's a support system for a black hole.
We're expecting the arrival of Marla McCants. From what I understand, she may be close to 800 pounds.
After a grueling 13-hour journey, Marla arrives in Houston in a catastrophic shape. Dr. Nauzaradan, a man not easily shocked, is visibly alarmed. He diagnoses her as one of the most dire cases he has ever seen, immediately admitting her to the hospital. He wastes no time on pleasantries, recognizing that this isn't a consultation but a desperate race against the clock. Her journey for a new life has begun with a fight for her next breath.
And I'm like, oh, she gonna change. We ain't gonna have a better relationship, but I feel like she's not changing at all. You need to work on your attitude. I just feel like if she don't put forward that effort.
Just when it seems things can't get any worse, they do. Days after being admitted, Marla stops breathing and is rushed to the ICU, where she is placed in a medically induced coma. The diagnosis is a pulmonary embolism, a direct and nearly fatal consequence of her prolonged immobility. This a full-blown catastrophe, and it's a brutal reminder that her body is a ticking time bomb. The journey to save her life has become a desperate battle to keep her from dying on the table.
Wearing your leg hurt.
You don't understand, and I don't want to argue.
Yeah, I heard a lot of things, but not this kind of excuse.
Even after surviving a near-death experience, Marla's biggest obstacle remains herself. When Dr. Now confronts her about her refusal to participate in physical therapy, she regresses into a childish tantrum, screaming, "Don't touch me," and wallowing in self-pity. Her daughter Sierra, at her wit's end, finally explodes, her frustration boiling over. This isn't a patient struggling with pain, it's a master manipulator using her helplessness as a weapon, a final, desperate attempt to cling to the victimhood that has defined her for so long.
This is Marla's last chance. If she doesn't stand up now, she'll be in this bed until she dies.
Dr. Now has had enough. He makes a house call with a team of EMTs, determined to force a breakthrough. He will not allow her to hide behind excuses any longer. The struggle is immense. The pain is real, but with the combined effort of the team, she does it. She stands. It's a monumental victory, a single wobbly moment that shatters years of self-imposed imprisonment.
For the first time in a long, I stood on my own 2 feet again.
I'm glad to see that you're trying. I'm proud of you giving it a shot.
I didn't think I could get up.
The breakthrough is nothing short of miraculous. After the forced standing session, something in Marla finally clicks. She begins to fight, pushing herself through the agony of physical therapy. Her determination now a raging fire. She not only stands but takes a step, a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph. This isn't just progress, it's a resurrection. Dr. Now, seeing this incredible display of will, rewards her with the one thing she needs to continue her journey: approval for weight loss surgery.
Wonderful.
She did really good.
You're in good shape.
I realized that no one was going to do this for me. I had to do it myself.
Although still in the hospital, Marla is on track to making phenomenal progress. Coming down from over 600 pounds to her current weight is nothing short of miraculous, and her outlook towards walking and doing basic tasks on her own is encouraging. Everybody in the room is super positive that the only way for Samantha is up, and so do I.
Because walking is so difficult. And once I get there, I'm at the point where it's getting hard to fit through the door, mostly because of my stomach and how far it hangs. And by the time I try and bathe myself,
We are barely 2 minutes in, and the sheer suffocating misery of this existence is already on full, brutal display. Just the Herculean effort required for Samantha to waddle a few feet to her own bathroom is insanely punishing. Her stomach hangs so obscenely it blocks the doorway, and the simple human act of washing herself is a battle she loses daily. What a devastating way to start this story.
and I was already around 150 pounds when I was 7. After the divorce, things didn't get any easier because me and my little sister started out going with my mom, but she had a lot of trouble taking care of us on her own.
And here we get the origin story for this catastrophe, the childhood trauma that built this body. Her alcoholic father created a home soaked in chaos and fear, and food became her only comfort, her only source of control in a world that had none. She was already 70 kilograms at 7 years old. This kid had her life derailed before it even left the station. How can a kid possibly build a healthy future on a foundation of pure panic and pasta?
To start a fetish model for a website that catered to people who liked large women. So I have a setup in my apartment where I can film myself eating.
Now the enabling machinery clicks into gear, and it is absolutely diabolical. She's found a way to monetize her own self-destruction by becoming a fetish model where people pay to watch her eat. She calls it a job, but this is just a socially acceptable way to fund her suicide. She's literally getting paid to die, and she's happy about the appreciation. This isn't a career move. It's the addiction finding a brilliant, terrifying new way to feed itself, and it's horrifying to witness.
So in a month and a half, you put on almost another 150 pounds?
Yeah.
So you realize that your weight is getting to a very dangerous point right now.
Enter Dr. Now, the only adult in the room, and he immediately cuts through the nonsense with the sword of truth. He hears she's ballooned to 150 pounds in the hospital and just lays out the brutal mathematical truth. She's eaten enough for the next 4 years. He dismantles her excuse of feeling starved with cold, hard logic. This is the intervention we've been screaming for, a voice of reason shouting into a hurricane of self-pity and self-sabotage.
If food makes me happy and I'm gonna die anyways, why don't I just make myself happy? Look at that, I'm right off the bone.
It's really hard to watch my mom like this.
And what is her response to this lifeline? She's back at home, immediately on the phone, ordering a mountain of takeout like Dr. Now's warning was just background noise. Chicken strips, ribs, burgers, fries, cake. It's a funeral feast for her own future. She actually wonders out loud if she should just be happy with the food since she's going to die anyway. The defiance is just breathtaking. She's staring into the abyss and deciding to order dessert.
Handling more on my own. I still need my walker if I get too tired. But I can walk some without it now, so I'm using it a lot less. It's just when I push myself too hard that I have to get it.
Cue the waterworks during a visit from her daughter, Bella, but these aren't tears of determination. This is a masterclass in weaponized negativity. Bella is trying to inject a shred of hope, pointing out the positives of a new apartment, and Samantha just smothers it, calling herself the Titanic. She drains the energy from the room, making her daughter's support feel worthless. It's not sadness, it's a manipulative performance to keep everyone as miserable as she is.
These past months have been a huge change because getting weight loss surgery saved my life. When the stay-at-home stuff started, I started to get scared I wasn't going to be able to get weight loss surgery.
Dr. Now connects with her Denver surgeon, and his prognosis is grimly professional but scathing. He confirms Samantha is actively avoiding psychotherapy, the very thing that could save her. He states the terrifying truth. If she doesn't fix what's broken in her head, she will regain all the weight and her body will not survive a second collapse. This is the medical verdict on her lack of willpower. The door is closing, and she's the one pushing it shut.
It says 280.2, so this is in kilogram. I'm just gonna do a quick calculation. Oh my God, look, 616 pounds.
She's weighed before transfer to rehab and has dropped 200 pounds. For a second, it feels like a victory, a testament to what the surgery can do. But the skepticism is immediate. This was achieved in a controlled environment, a bubble. The real test is coming. Has she done the internal work, or is this just a temporary pause in the decline? The number is amazing, but the person behind it still feels fragile.
And physical therapy, whatever we can do.
Good. So what is Sam's weight now?
She is losing, but she has come to a standstill in
The final update is a gut punch of poetic injustice. She survived the life-saving surgery only to be felled by infected sores that refuse to heal, a common but brutal complication for someone of her size. Her body is literally breaking down under the legacy of its own past. We're left with a message from rehab, her voice clinging to a thin thread of hope, but the overall feeling is one of devastating incompletion. The cycle isn't broken, it's just paused, and the future is a giant, painful question mark.
Getting out of bed is something I dread, and it's getting to the point where it's almost too hard to do it because I sink in so deep. It's like trying to get out of it.
The opening shot is a sledgehammer to the gut. We meet JT, a man so profoundly imprisoned by his own body that his entire universe is the few feet between his bed and his next meal. His girlfriend literally leaves food by the bedside like you'd leave water for a pet. He confesses that food provides a comfort no human can, a peace that eclipses everything, even basic mobility. This isn't just a man who likes to eat. This is a soul drowning in a vat of sugar and fat, and the water is rising fast. The sheer unvarnished misery of this existence is a devastating opening act.
Pretty much everything JT does, I see him struggle with. I wish there was more I could do to help him, but if I express those worries to JT, he gets very upset.
Enter the enabler, Jessica, the girlfriend who seems more like a personal chef and emotional hostage. She admits she's terrified of his health, but she's even more terrified of his anger. So what does she do? She actively fuels the fire, driving to get whatever he demands because confrontation is too hard. She's not just standing by, she's an accomplice, handing him the shovel he's using to dig his own grave. It's a masterclass in codependency, where love is defined as being an accessory to someone's suicide.
The biggest one being that I didn't realize that my parents started doing drugs. And as I got older, their habit got worse. I got into harder. Instead of buying things like clothes and food.
And here comes the trauma dump, the origin story for this catastrophe. A childhood that should have been safe was instead soaked in the chaos of parental drug addiction. The happy family dinners at his dad's hot dog stand were the calm before a storm that never ended. By his teens, he was the adult, working insane hours to support his siblings while his parents checked out. Food became the only reliable source of solace in a world that offered none. It's the classic, heartbreaking blueprint for how a coping mechanism morphs into a life-ending addiction.
All right, have a safe trip back. Don't push yourself too hard. And if you need anything, give me a call. If not, I'll see you both in 2 months with some good products. Okay?
Cue the hero music because Dr. Now is in the building and he does not have time for these theatrics. He takes one look at the 892-pound behemoth and his lymphedema-ridden leg and is genuinely shocked JT can move at all. He immediately cuts to the chase, diagnosing the physical reality with brutal precision. There's no coddling, no soft pedaling the life or death stakes. He lays down the law, a strict no-carb diet, and a demand to move to Houston. It's the first dose of real-world consequences in a life built on delusion.
Well, it comes off to me as you don't care, and it hurts.
Well, I'm sorry, but you knew this when you got into it.
The moment real effort is required, the entire house of cards collapses. Jessica, faced with the prospect of actually supporting a difficult recovery instead of just enabling a slow death, bails. She packs up and leaves him alone in a Houston hospital. And JT's response? To whine about the hospital food and the stress, completely missing the point that his life is on the line. His support system crumbles at the first sign of pressure, proving it was built on sand and takeout containers.
The apartments were over there. I'm just gonna find out a way to get my stuff down here.
We can figure something out. I've known JT all my life and came down to Houston because...
As Jessica tries to explain her reasons for leaving, JT completely shuts down. He can't handle her tears or any conversation about their failing relationship. He retreats into a shell of self-pity, framing himself as the victim of her abandonment. Watch how he weaponizes his own fragility, making her feel guilty for having legitimate emotional needs. These aren't the tears of a man in pain. They're the manipulations of someone who cannot bear for the spotlight to shift away from his own suffering for even a second.
JT is at a crossroad right now. I know he has had a lot happen to him in a short period of time, but it's up to him to decide whether he wants to use that as an excuse to continue to self-destruct.
Dr. Now has had enough of the excuses. He confronts JT in rehab where he's been sneaking in outside food and skipping therapy. The doctor doesn't just scold him, he eviscerates him. He lays out the cold, hard math of his failure and tells him point blank that his nonsensical excuses are a one-way ticket to an early grave. This is the verbal equivalent of a defibrillator, a last-ditch jolt to shock a dying man's heart back into rhythm. The question hangs in the air, will it work?
Because after the surgery today, I'll be closer than ever to happy.
Today we are attempting to perform a gastric sleeve on JT.
Miraculously, the confrontation works. With his cousin's help, JT finally gets his head in the game. He starts following the diet, does the physical therapy, and actually hits Dr. Now's weight loss goal. He gets approved for surgery. It's a staggering turnaround, a testament to what happens when someone finally chooses life over their addiction. You want to cheer, but a part of you holds its breath, wondering if this newfound discipline is a permanent change or just a temporary fix.
Motivated than ever to push myself to get there. Start a life I gave up, so I'm not slowing down or getting off track because I can see the life I want on the horizon.
The final reveal is nothing short of breathtaking. A man who was once a prisoner in his own bed is now walking to a park, feeling the sun on his face. He's lost 400 pounds. The transformation is physical, yes, but it's the light in his eyes that tells the real story. The self-pity is gone, replaced by a fierce, earned motivation. He's not just surviving, he's living, actively building a future he was never supposed to have. This isn't just a success story, it's a resurrection.
This is my life. I've been bedridden for years, and I have these 4 walls to look at, and that's it. I know it's gonna be the same thing every single day.
Liz has been bedridden for years, a prisoner in a body that has become her tomb. Her life is a horrifying loop of pain and degradation, entirely dependent on her aging aunt for every humiliating task, from sponge baths to being physically rolled over. The shame is a palpable, suffocating force, a constant reminder that she, the one who was supposed to be a caregiver for her own sick mother, has become the ultimate burden. This is rock bottom, a living hell from which there appears to be no escape.
I feel helpless every time I walk in the room and try to do something. When she's really so depressed and so sad.
Her Aunt Sarah is a tragic figure, a loving enabler trapped in a cycle of pity and provision. She admits that food is the only thing that brings Liz a fleeting moment of happiness, so she keeps the supply coming, enough to feed an entire family. It's a heartbreaking admission of defeat, a tacit acknowledgement that she would rather feed the addiction than face the emotional fallout of denying it.
But that changed when I was 6 because I was molested by someone that my family knew. I remember being so alone and scared because I didn't know what to do or who I could tell. So I just felt ashamed. I don't know if my mom would have believed me.
Molested at 6, she learned early to bury her shame in silence. Then came her father's drug addiction and the subsequent divorce, a 1-2 punch of instability and heartbreak that sent her running to the only comfort she knew, food. A series of painful, immobilizing leg surgeries throughout her childhood further cemented this deadly coping mechanism. Food wasn't a choice, it was an anesthetic, a way to numb the unbearable pain of a life spiraling out of control.
You know, there's no way you're living to your 40s like this. So you realize how bad your body is and how close to death you are.
Dr. Now arrives like a force of nature, cutting through the suffocating atmosphere of denial. After a shocking 721-pound weigh-in, he delivers the unvarnished truth. At 35, she's on borrowed time. He wastes no time with false hope, immediately admitting her to the hospital for a forced 1,200-calorie diet and a complete medical overhaul. The time for excuses is in the past.
And lately, we eat a lot of fast food. Then that's what I have, because if I don't eat that, then it's really nothing else to eat.
Pieces here.
Okay. So it gets hard.
The first taste of freedom is a bitter pill of regression. After months of incredible progress in the hospital, Liz is sent home only to immediately fall back into old habits. The excuse is a familiar one. Her mother isn't feeling well, so they order pizza. It's a classic case of emotional eating, a desperate retreat to the comfort of old habits in a moment of stress. This isn't just a cheat meal, it's a symptom of a deeper, unaddressed wound, a sign that the psychological battle has only just begun.
So we have the same unhealthy dynamic as we did. Nothing is changing. So here's the situation. It's been 7 months since you arrived. We helped you get 150 pounds off.
The weigh-in after her relapse is a disaster. Liz has gained a staggering 50 pounds. Dr. Now is incensed, his frustration boiling over as he eviscerates her excuses. The ultimatum is swift and brutal. Take one step in the next month or the program is over. No more second chances, no more coddling. The gauntlet has been thrown down.
You can do it, Liz.
Okay.
All right, push up,
Lean
push
forward.
up.
There you go. Okay, lean forward.
There you go.
You're doing good. Great.
Whoa! Liz actually does the impossible. With the full weight of her future on her shoulders, she pushes through the agony, the fear, and the years of atrophy, and takes a single, wobbly step. It's a small movement, but it's a seismic shift in her journey. Dr. Now, witnessing this incredible display of willpower, immediately approves her for the life-saving weight loss surgery. It's a resurrection, folks.
And it just took a toll on me.
So how do you think you dealt with your emotions?
Just probably finding comfort in the food and then just spiraling out of control after,
The therapy session is a raw, emotional exorcism. When confronted with her past, Liz finally breaks down, the grief she has suppressed for years pouring out in a torrent of tears. She revisits the trauma of her father's death, the guilt of being unable to attend his funeral, the shame of her own immobility. This isn't a performance, it's a genuine catharsis, the painful but necessary process of lancing the emotional wounds that have festered for so long. For the first time, she is feeling the pain instead of eating it.
She was able to do that little bitty step.
The smell is painful, but I know it's going to improve as I do it more and more and more.
The final scene is a testament to the power of the human spirit. Liz, hundreds of pounds lighter and walking with a walker, has reclaimed her life. She is no longer a prisoner in her own bed, but a woman with a future. Her journey has been a brutal, agonizing battle, but she has emerged victorious, a symbol of hope and resilience. This is more than just a story of weight loss. It's a story of redemption, of the incredible capacity for change that lies dormant within us all, waiting for the moment we choose to fight.